Aircraft wheel balancing. Balancing a wheel keeps the wheel from vibrating when landing or taxiing. Lead weights are added to the rim to make up for unbalanced wheels. This will prevent the tire from always wanting to be in the same position on each landing. This results in unequal wear and flat spots. A wheel balancer is used to determine the balance of the wheel, using gravity to show where the wheel, tube, or rim have heavy spots. Tools needed for this procedure are aircraft wheel and balancer, balancing weights and balancing magnets, silicone, and a bead breaker if you are going to be replacing or removing the tire. To change the tire, remove all of the air and the valve core to ensure it is completely deflated. Break the bead on both sides of the tire with the bead breaking tool. To split the rim, remove all of the hardware from the rim halves and pull the rim halves apart. Clean the bearings and the rim halves and inspect for any damage. Install the new tire and tube assembly on the rim halves and torque the hardware to specs. To set up a balancer, first you must re-grease the bearings and place back in the wheel halves. Then insert a balancing shaft through the rim, tightening the centering nut on the opposite side to ensure the tire is centered. Set the assembly on the balancing stand and spin the wheel both directions to ensure that it is properly aligned with the balancing stand. Balancing tire and wheel assemblies. Lightly spin the tire and let it come to a slow stop. The side that ends up on the bottom is usually the heavier side. Determine the amount of magnetic weights needed to counterbalance the weight of the heavier side. Place the magnetic weights on the balancer scale 180 degrees away from the heavy spots. Recheck the wheel for balance. If the magnetic weights end up on the bottom, too much weight was added. If the magnetic weights end up on the top, not enough weight was added. If the magnetic weights end up in random locations, then the wheel is balanced. Installing weights on the rim. Clean the surface of the rim where the weights are to be added. Put the weight on the rim and make sure it is secured. Remove the magnetic weights from the backside of the balancer and check the wheel for correct balance. After it is finally determined that the wheel is balanced, silicone around the weight to seal the weight from any contamination. Finally, reinstall the wheel assembly on the aircraft following the manufacturer's procedures.